Hey, what's up guys? Gabriel here. This is a nice chunk of Ancient Ocean, which is a hard, fine Colorado jasper. And it's definitely got a lot of abrasive material in it. It's a very hard, metamorphic kind of a stone. And I'm going to sharpen my Forrest Bowie in A2 by Park River. Great knife, came from the factory, really sharp. The tip actually broke in shipping, so I'm going to use this as an opportunity to show you how hard the stone is, because the tip on this needs some work by me anyway. So if I try to gouge the stone, there's not really any penetration, and I know I'm not using the sharpest tip in the world, but if I tip up just a little bit more even, like I'm not, yeah, now I did dull that, I'm going to fix it, but the point is that this stone does not gouge. You can see some metal lines where I did that, and I can't, with my thumbnail, feel any gouge. So that's a real big difference to, say, a synthetic stone, like a king. Just for the sake of not really ruining my stone as much as possible, I'll just show you this on the side, but big difference. It digs out a ton of material. So although the micro abrasives in a stone like this are as hard, the density in the binder is way different. Alright, I'm just going to make sure there aren't any stray particles from that. And without further ado, so that sound is the cutting speed, and the really interesting thing is that these stones cut by feel. So the texture of the stone really changes the speed and how fine it is. So this stone is mostly polished. It's been lapped quite a bit on about a 600 grit. DMT plates wear in really nicely. That was a 325 coarse, but it's gone totally dull. So yeah, just keeping the stone surface pretty smooth, it's still got a really nice cutting action. That sound is all steel coming off. And as it gets the cutting action going in the stone, you get a feel for where your edge is. And I really like sharpening convex edges like this because I'm feeling it out that I'm on the right plane. And I can real easily check by sight and by feel how sharp the edge is, and then those spots that I want to work, improve. And I can go right to a fine stone like this because I like the polish in my edge. I'm not trying to like clean scratches out on the side of the knife. I'm really just apexing the edge a little bit, and that's the natural contour of the knife anyway. So that's a big advantage for me when I'm sharpening knives. Is I have a hard, fine stone, no soak needed, don't need to lap it, and it's versatile. So if I take a smaller piece like this one, this is not as polished yet. It's it still could use more smoothing in. It's at about maybe 300 grit instead of 600. You'll hear the difference. It's louder. It's taking more metal, because the pores of the stone are a little more open. And so when you use a stone that's harder than steel, every bit of motion, you have abrasion. You have the stone rubbing away the steel because the stone's tougher. And I'm not counting, I just am kind of eyeballing it and not really going, oh, 10 on this side, 10 on that side. I'm just kind of going for it because if you get too far ahead on one side, you just do the other side a little more, and if you keep your angles right, you don't change your blade up in a harmful way. Okay, here's another really cool trick. You can use slurry really well with these stones. So if I use a softer stone, and I could rub this on the Ancient Ocean stone, it doesn't make a difference. I just do it on the diamond plate. because it's quick and I know my diamond plate's smooth. And so that's one way to get a slurry to work with for a little more float. It's the surface of the stone during the action. The slurry kind of is just glide. A slurry might increase your cutting action a little bit, but really the texture of the road that the tire is going on, that's what's going to determine your scratch pattern. Dish soap's another option. You can use water and a drop of glycerin. And you could use the slurry from the stone itself. So if I take another piece of the material that's got a bit of a rounded corner, that roundedness lets me kind of get fine grit raised without grit that's going to gouge. Because I don't want to just dig off pieces of stone, I really want creamy mud. So slurry acts as your glide, but it can also increase your cutting speed. And if I took my diamond plate and slurried the stone, then I increase the cutting action of the stone by opening its pores. But this way I keep my stones polished and I have a slurry, so that's a trick for kind of a more of an intermediate cutting speed. It's not really going to make a drastic difference, honestly, which method here you choose if you want slurry. It's just going to matter which kind of stones you use. As a straight razor sharpener, I studied slurries a lot, and I just kind of found that it was a lot about having good technique and a fine enough stone that you're getting the polish you need. With knives, making a muddy slurry will definitely help you shine up the steel. So there's that. So this is a really good base stone. I'm just going to see that we are still rolling. Alright, that is pretty good feeling. It's definitely catching skin. I've got some sharpness back that I didn't have before. It's not quite shaving as much as I'd like, but I definitely have the bite back into my edge, and I just used one stone. And this was getting a little bit dull after doing a fair amount of like slicing weeds and stuff for fun. So the knife saw some use. It's A2, so it does require sharpening a little bit faster than CPM. All depends on what you do with it though. And if you have slurry stones, these stones dress very nicely, so you can really rub in the polish, because if you want this thing glassy, silky, smooth for sharpening a straight razor, then that's the trick, is keep your stone really smooth. So that's part of why I didn't scrape it again with the diamond plate in my demo. And I'm pretty satisfied by those results. I think I could sharpen this knife for another 5 or 10 minutes, just paying real close attention to what I'm doing. I sometimes get a little distracted when I'm sharpening and talking. Alright guys, thanks for watching. If you want to see more sharpening videos, or you have a question about any techniques here, feel free to drop it. And come check out the Facebook group, Wild Whetstones, where we're doing lots of stones and sharpening, and it's not just these stones, it's stones from all over the world. Great group of guys we got going. Yeah, come check us out. Thanks again. That's Wild Whetstones for you. This is the 20 to 30,000 grit ancient ocean stone.